No, no more song. Only stream. I don't know. Anyway, hi everybody. Um, we're chilling. We're chilling. We're having a chill day today. The thumbnails are getting more and more unhinged. Listen, let me silly max. I'm maxing the sillies. Let me get my chat open because I didn't have it open. Come on, YouTube or not YouTube. This is website chat. Website chat. Hello. Okay, let's get everything ready. Let's get everything in position. Hello, Jazz Dog. What's up? Yeah, we play some Jazz Dog at the beginning of the streams. Let me go ahead and resize this window and move window around. Whoa, move window around. And then we have that window, which I also want to move around. Good gracious. But I'm so beleaguered. You know, I got so much work. I got so much work to do. I got to resize windows and move them around and, you know, all kinds of crazy nonsense. Hitting like and leaving because I'm at work. Yeah, fair enough. What's up, Zach? What's up, Ruprime? What's up, Saxon? Andy. We got Danny, Selena, Lucia, and Eggy Jones in the YouTube chat. And then on the website chat, hello, we've got Drea and Jazz Dog and Actual Goth and Faulty Branches. Hello. We also had In a Box and Cliff in the website chat. Hi. I was half expecting you to not stream today. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm really feeling pretty good. I woke up this morning and was really tired. Like, in the middle of the night, I'm going to have a little snacky at the beginning of the show. In the middle of the night, my back got really, like, literally, I woke up from sleep because my back started hurting. It was crazy. Like right in the middle of the back between my shoulder blades, kind of. I did a little bit of back exercises at the gym yesterday, so I don't know if maybe that was it, but it was the weirdest thing that I don't recall happening to me before. So that was strange. But yeah, so I kind of felt like shit this morning, but I figured, you know, we'll show up. We'll, take a shower. We'll feel a little bit better. Yeah. I love hearing people mess up my name. Yeah. So you do Windows. Yeah, I do Windows. You know? You're going silly. I keep hoping for a State of the Union address, State of the Trans Union address on Takis because I'm rather desperate for good news, or at least not terrible news. Anyway, hey, yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of trans positive news out there, which that's what makes it so difficult to talk about trans news specifically. I mean, there was a story recently, and I can't remember if we talked about it or not, but there was a trans man who jumped off a bridge to save a baby because the baby's pram had been blown by the wind off of the bridge into a river. And I was like, damn, that man is a hero. This is a big damn hero. In a box, yeah, haven't been here for a hot minute. Hope things have been uneventful in your part of the world. Yeah, I mean, things are just kind of chugging along, as usual. I'm working on potentially going back to school as like the biggest piece of news. I've stalled out a little bit on it because it's springtime and there's only so much you can do when you want to enroll for later in the year. But I'm also wanting to have some more in-depth conversations with my partner about it. And, just because I want to make sure that it's cool. Like, it's a big financial decision to make and it's going to be a very involved time, like, especially with the kind of electrical engineering that I want to pursue. If I want to do it in a short amount of time, then I'm going to have to do an ungodly amount of school per term. So I would have to, rearrange my schedules a little bit and maybe pull back on other aspects of my obligations and responsibilities. And I would need lots of support, like emotional and practical support. So I want to make sure that I'm not like leaping off a bridge metaphorically and not having like the safety parameters around, or like not having the support of my partner. So that's kind of like the biggest update for me personally, is that I have like applied for school. But other than that, I'm trying to get off of social media. I've been a little bit bad this week. I've been arguing with people in public Facebook forum, like arguing with Republicans. And yeah, I'm just day by day, just kind of doing my thing, which is partially why I feel a little bit less motivated to stream, because I'm like, well, I haven't been doing much. I don't have like a lot to talk about. I've been working out and streaming and working for the line and like going to therapy with my partner and, you know, whatever. Hello, Trinket. Hello, Ali G. Hello, who else did I see? Did I see another name? Green Garbador. Hello. Springtime for Trumpler. True. I didn't hear about the guy saving the baby. Yeah. Let me look it up for you. Trans man saves baby. Yeah, this was in February. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I hate all these news websites demanding that I pay them. Jesus Christ. Let's see, maybe them will let me read this fucking article. I'm in a little bit of a salty mood today, so I apologize if I seem a little bit irritated. I don't know what the deal is, but I am irritated. Trans comedian saved a baby that fell into Lake Michigan. Oh, it was Lake Michigan. So this 30-year-old trans man, Leo, became a hero last week by diving into the near-freezing waters of Lake Michigan to save a baby's life. He was on a phone call when he saw the wind blow the baby's stroller into the lake. Whoa. Is that on Twitch? Did someone just follow me on Twitch? I'm so sorry. I don't actually stream on Twitch. I know I have an account over there, and it's connected to my Streamlabs, but I don't actually stream over there. If you're wondering where this chat over here is at, this is my website, luxander.net/live. I've considered streaming on Twitch on and off, but I'm just like shifting my focus a little bit on, instead of constantly thinking what else could I be doing for my streaming career, I'm like, what if I redirected that energy towards something that doesn't make me feel bad all the time? My partner and I were doing some exercise this week that was like kind of like a getting to know your partner. It was like a Gottman love map thing, if you know the Gottmans. And one of them was like, what is your partner proud of? And he was like, I think you're probably proud of your YouTube and like and I was like, actually, no, I feel constantly frustrated by that. Like, you know, I hit a milestone, like I hit 40,000 subscribers recently. And instead of being like, yay, I'm like, okay, but the next milestone, right? Like there's like a feeling of dissatisfaction instead of a feeling of pride, like just a constant annoyance with it. So I don't know. Maybe that's a mindset issue that I need to work on. I hope you survive school. True. Do you share your food? I'm not terrible about sharing my food. I think my partner and I usually don't like bother each other about our food. But if it's like, oh, hey, I want you to try one of these, I share my food, okay? I'm not like weirdly territorial about it. When I started my transition, at first my mom accepted me, but now she doesn't. And as a trans woman, it hurts. Any advice with how to deal with things like this? I mean, it's a process. I think if you're trying to maintain the relationship, then I usually just say, give it some time. Just give her a little time, and continue to show that you are happy and that this is a decision that you're content with. And, if she loves you, then she's going to support you and kind of drive that home, that we, just show her like, I'm happy. This is a good decision for me. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm content, and it makes a big difference to me if you can be part of this part of my life with me, that you're not trying to leave her behind, that you want to bring her in, you want her to know you, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's tough. With all the anti-trans rhetoric right now, it can be kind of tough because, yeah, lots of people who maybe would have had a sort of libertarian attitude toward it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where they were like, they might have been like, well, I don't really understand it, but I feel like they can do whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody. And then there's like increased extremism around trans issues by the Republican Party and people pushing that narrative. So, it's unfortunate, but not entirely unexpected that people are more overtly against it now than they would have been otherwise, because their trusted news sources are constantly telling them how awful trans people are. Question for you. I've been applying to jobs in Oregon and Washington to try and get out of the terrible Southeast. I seem to be getting interest in my application because I'm getting interviews, but then nothing. I feel like I'm getting rejected because I don't currently live in the state I'm applying to. Do you have any advice? I think that is possible, that you might be getting screened out because you don't live here already, but it's also just really hard. I've seen lots of people. I'm in groups about like Oregon in general, and like, you know, my local area, or places that are nearby enough that I could drive to. So I'm like trying to keep my finger on the pulse of how do people feel in Oregon? How do people feel in Portland? How do people feel in Eugene? How do people feel? I don't really care about Eastern Oregon so much. Basically, like places throughout the valley. I want to know what people feel like. And it seems like a lot of folks are having a hard time finding a job. So it probably is not just a you problem, but maybe that is the case, right? My partner and I didn't look for jobs before we got here. Like, that's part of why it was so expensive to move up here, because part of what I had to do was cushion so that my partner had time to find a job. And then I had to start working again, and my pay didn't go up, even though the cost of living went up from Kansas to Oregon. So, yeah, I don't know that I have a lot of advice. Is like keep trying, and maybe if you look for remote-only positions, if you're looking at remote-only positions, you also don't have to limit yourself to looking at jobs in Oregon and Washington. So that's another thing. That's like also part of why I'm interested in the whole electrical engineering thing, because I could get a remote work, and literally that job could be anywhere, and I could work from home, and wherever the company is based kind of is irrelevant. So wouldn't it be fun to get a job like in a country with actual workplace protections and just be like, haha, I'm an American and I have a Norwegian job. Yay. Disillusionment with the grind is probably a healthy thing. Sure. I think it's just different if you feel like you have good purpose in your job, or you enjoy the job. And like, I don't dislike talking to you guys. What I dislike, so streaming is probably one of the best parts of my job here. Which sucks because it's also like the least money-making part of my job. But I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I enjoy the conversations that we have. What I don't like is that I have to then like make videos and market them. So I'm actually about to make a big change where I'm gonna like streamline and automate as much of my video production process as I can. So yeah, if you watch videos on the channel and you feel like, oh, this feels a little formulaic, well, that's because I'm trying to reduce the amount of time I have to spend doing the worst part of my job. Yeah, and then like I'm diving in with the line. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm like trying to be really involved in helping the line grow and expand. I'm like volunteering to work more when needed and everything. So as far as, because it feels like I'm building something, right? It's like you're contributing, you have coworkers. Jesus, I think that having coworkers is such a big part of having like a good time at work, having coworkers that you enjoy being around. I'm finding myself paralyzed by all the new stuff every day. Is there somehow I can handle this better without going lights out on it? Well, I think to some extent going lights out on it is necessary, right? Like I've been kind of shouting this from the rooftops. I got an RSS feeder. So I go to this website and like I've got these different categories of stuff, and I get like articles, and you can see a lot of these are not news related. I have creativity, movies and TV, DIY and crafts, arts and culture, architecture and design. And like, of course, I've got some newsy stuff at the top here. Excuse me. And then this is like NPR. Excuse me. NPR is in the USA News. That doesn't even really need to be in its own category anymore. I just removed a lot of other news that was kind of in that subcategory. And then energy and water, where I like have stuff about, you know, solar, and I read about energy and like different countries investing more in their renewable energy and stuff like this. So only like 5 of these, and just to be clear, like there's a bunch of subcategories in here, like several things. I cleared out my DIY and crafts one earlier today. And so only like 5 out of the 30 or something RSS things that I'm subscribed to on here, maybe even 40, only like 5 of them are directly news related. And I fall behind on this stuff. So sometimes I'm like looking at news. Like you can see some of these posts are from, okay, this post from Aaron in the morning that I read earlier. Under new Olympic sex testing policy, a cis woman who gives birth could be considered male. That's from 2 weeks ago. So sometimes I'm like not even up to speed with the news. I'm reading stuff from a week ago, 5 days ago, and I think that helps. And I know that people feel some type of way about not being clued in. But it's like, are you helping anything? I know that there is a feeling of like, if I know what's happening, then I can do something about it. Or maybe like some kind of anxiety around, you know, not keeping your finger on the pulse with these things. And I just think like it's not helping anything, you know? I feel as though my attentions are going to be better served by things that actually make a difference, right? So I'm focusing on things that I have direct control over or things that I could do locally. Like, I think I already talked about this, but there is this thing called balcony solar, where you can get solar panels to hang off of your balcony or off your porch or whatever, and you can then plug it into a regular 120 volt outlet and slightly offset the amount of power that you need to draw from the power grid. And it's not legal in a lot of places, or the utility companies themselves are telling people that they can't do it. But it's a really renter-friendly option because it's a temporary installation. You don't have to like permanently affix anything the way that like rooftop solar has to be kind of permanently installed. So I can call my representatives and be like, hey, there's a bill about, I think there is one, a bill in Oregon about balcony solar. I support balcony solar, right? Or, you know, Oregon is working its way toward having universal health care. So I can contact my reps and be like, hey, I support universal health care. Here's why, blah, 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 blah. So I just feel like, you know, we recorded the podcast yesterday. If you don't know, I have a podcast with Gayfesh and Demon Mama. It's on the Gayfesh YouTube channel. It's called The Many Worlds Hypothesis, and we talk about movies. But yesterday we recorded the podcast talking about The Bucket List, the movie The Bucket List. And Demon Mama had just seen the news that Trump was like, we're going to destroy Iran or whatever he said. And she was really upset by it. She was like, I'm feeling kind of dissociated because of that news. And of course, before the end of the day, he said, oh, we'll do a 2-week ceasefire. You know, never mind. I'm not going to fucking nuke Iran. And I just felt like, why would I let myself be affected by something that's not going to happen or something that is going to change by the end of the night? I'll be horrified. Like, I'm horrified that we are like destroying their bridges and stuff already, you know? So like, why am I going to let myself be impacted by that? I have no control over it. And like, to be clear, I've already kind of tuned out on some things. Like, I used to be glued to what was happening in Gaza and the destruction, and like I was reading about the types of munitions being used. Like, there was some type of explosive or something that was like, so this is not just killing people by killing them, it like by blowing them up or whatever. It's killing them because detonating this nearby people causes their lungs to collapse and then they suffocate to death. So I was really tuned in to all of that happening, and all I was doing was giving myself PTSD. Like, literally all I was doing was giving myself PTSD. And I was watching as student protests were being criminalized and people were losing their scholarships and losing their, you know, if you're in the country to do college, but then your college kicks you out, then you get kicked out of the country. So I just watched all this happen where people are trying to make things change and they weren't. And that was under fucking Biden. So, you know, I just feel like, okay, what is the point of me paying super close attention to what's happening in Iran. Like, it just doesn't help anything. It only hurts me. And yes, it is a privilege to be able to turn off the news and go back and wash my dishes and stuff. But like legitimately, like what are you going to do? We are not going to individually stop the machinery of war. We've been over this numerous times in this country. So I don't know. Listen, if you have some criticism and I should be doing something different, but what the fuck am I going to do about it? I'm disabled. Like, I'm barely functional in my own basic day-to-day lives situation. So, I don't know. Yeah, Drea says, yeah, she is in Oregon. The job situation is pretty dire here. A lot of tech is sloughing jobs via automation, AI, and bad outlooks. Yeah, truly. Hey, I ran an electronics workshop for the charity I work with for Trans Day of Visibility, and people seem to enjoy it. I just learned how to do electrical soldering. I bought a little kit, and I made a little Bluetooth speaker, and I also soldered the pins onto a Arduino. So I now have a tiny Arduino that I could program something to do something. I'm planning on basically working my way through some basic how to make an LED turn on kind of breadboard stuff. So yeah, electronics is really cool too. For me, it's less helping and more getting a heads up that I'm about to get picked up for a death camp or some crazy. Is that going to happen though? It's like being realistic. We live in a blue state with constitutional protections for trans people. Nobody's passing a law in Oregon that says it's illegal to cross-dress or whatever. Federally, those laws are also not really passing, or they're being immediately challenged. So I just like we're torturing ourselves, I think. Of course, if you are a brown person and you're in a place where brown people are getting picked up off the street, I think that's obviously like it makes sense for you to be like, I need to know what's going on. But yeah, other than that, I just don't. This is what I mean. I'm just tapping out a little bit at this point. I don't count on constitutional protections anymore, given how many of them have been completely ignored. I just mean within the state of Oregon. The state of Oregon is supporting trans rights and is protecting us to the extent that they're able to. So, you know, I'm just saying that our politicians here are going to fight for us. The federal could pull a Kansas. I mean, like, I guess. I just find myself, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I feel like we're doing too much. Like we're doing too much. Like this is part of why I moved to a blue state, was so that I wouldn't have to be constantly worried about this shit, and it feels ridiculous to be constantly worried about it. But I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel. I'm just saying, like, this is me compartmentalizing. Ooh, In a Box has a Simon Says. Oh yeah, I almost bought a Simon Says. Would you like some Moonies? I don't know what that means. But hey, yeah, if you guys don't know, I mean, I pay close attention to the chat anyway. We don't have enough subscribers here that I can't see your guys' comments. But if you're a YouTube member, every month, once a month, you can redeem a free super message like William just did. Member for 2 months. Would you like some Moonies? Is that like Canada money? Loonies and Moonies? Is that what that is? Stay insane, crazy world. Yeah, I'm doing my best. Like I said, you know, I'm like working on things that I have control over. And ultimately for me, like the climate crisis is the biggest thing. So I am figuring out how to apply myself to that particular problem. Code for an Arduino to make it do, Simon says. Hell yeah. Yeah, and like listen, if you feel like you can keep your eye on the news and not lose your mind, which I am, like to be clear, I'm paying attention, just not every day, and I'm not making it my number one priority. So, thank you for the $2 super chat. 2 Moonies. Indeed. Thank you. Okay, yeah. In a Box wanted to see my Bluetooth stuff. Whoops, shit. I got a box on the floor. I just kicked it. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, oh, thank you, Nicozer, for the 10 quid, who says you can't fight every battle, but you should know compassion, but you show compassion with everything you do talk about, and while that won't bring down a regime alone, it gives people like me hope. I'm just glad you do what you do. Thank you. That's very sweet. I try to, yeah, and I do as well try to talk about issues beyond just what is affecting me personally. I try to talk about homelessness. I try to talk about the environment. Oh man, this is this is kind of unrelated, but we had a vegan call in on Chewed Gum last night, and when I'm producing, I'm not really supposed to comment. I try not to, you know. Sometimes I'll throw out like one word or like whatever, or you know, if we're reaching like a deadline and I need people to stop, recently I interrupted a call and hung up on the caller because we had like only 15 minutes left to read super chats and then end the show, because on Chewed Gum we have a specific deadline, but most of the time I'm not supposed to. So I was a little bit like, ooh, I wish that this guy would call back on Thursday kind of situation, because I think that I have good arguments, not against veganism. I shouldn't say against veganism, because that's not quite right. But I have good arguments in support of the decisions that I make. So the vegan's last comment was insane. Honestly, I kind of didn't even really hear what he said. I just know that it had he mentioned black people and Holocaust, and that's kind of all I heard. A little auditory processing problems, but anyway, this is a little Arduino. I soldered these pins on, the 2 rail pins on the sides, and yeah, I mean, you can't see it because this camera is not great at focusing up close, but I kind of started off trying to make my soldering really neat and clean, and then I was like, you know what's better than neat and clean is fast and done. So it's a little bit messy in some places, but there's nothing bridged and nothing got burned or anything, so I can dick around with this. My partner also gave me a bunch of my partner gave me a bunch of components to play around with to practice and learn different things, and I've got a bunch of resistors and everything. So yeah, black people and Holocaust, the 2 genders, precisely. For beginning of those joints aren't too bad. I did learn how to solder jewelry when I was a kid, like a teenager, so I have soldered before. It's not a completely foreign concept to me. There were just some small things like, oh, you should heat up the component and then introduce the solder. And stuff like that. It was like, okay, a couple of how to approach this things, but I have soldered before. It was just generally metal soldering, like soldering soldering a bezel onto a flat metal surface. So I am familiar with the concept of flux. I'm familiar with solder. Anyway, so I did that. And then, so I did that first. My partner was like, here, you should practice on this. And then I did the Bluetooth speaker. And I know it looks all janked to fuck, but it's like supposed to be so that you can see it. Like you can see the stuff inside. So, little Bluetooth speaker. These LEDs in the front, they are reactive and light up the way that you wish Windows Media Player would. You remember Windows Media Player where it had the stuff that would like flow around, and I was always watching it and like wishing that it would correspond with the music? This does that, especially with voices. Like it really kind of yeah, it does some good stuff there. He was trying to say that one could use the same justifications they were making for eating meat to eat black people. Super crazy, but I don't think he was being specifically racist. Pretty much he said that black people were a different species and if it was okay to eat them. God damn it. Anyway, thank you again, William, for another $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and add those to the stream total. The total today that we're trying to get toward, the total every day that we're trying to get toward, is $100. $100 gets you a flex. I will flex my biceps. Or I guess if you really demand, instead I will show you the cat, but she's not in here right now. Is it possible to show those speakers in action? No, not really, because this is the one stupid thing. Okay, so this is a Bluetooth speaker, which, like, okay, it's cute, like, nice, but it only works if it's hardwired into something. So if I want this to work currently, it has to be plugged into something that puts out 5 volts. So the next thing I'll probably do with this is add a battery to it, like so that it can have an 18650 on it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really, it's not like a huge priority to me right now. I'll probably dick around with some smaller projects before I try to tackle that. Hello, various queers. Indeed. Hello, Wetware Angel. I do sometimes feel like, I don't know. I don't want to criticize Taylor and Alyssa because they're both really good at what they do. But there are some times where I'm like, here's an argument you could make. Here's an argument you could make. Like, oh, you could bring up this issue. And, you know, he kept being like, well, why wouldn't it be ethical to eat people? Like, because it's dangerous. Like, even without all of the whatever else, like, what's the difference between eating a human and eating an animal? Because eating at humans will probably hurt you. You can get prion disease. Like, generally speaking, like, you're not going to get good nutrients from eating human, partially because humans have a terrible diet, but also it's like...
Inbox gifted 5 tier 3 subscriptions. Thank you for showing us the Bluetooth and the Arduino.
Thank you. That's so generous. Yeah, I'm excited to do more Arduino projects and learn controls and everything. So hell yeah. Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to think how much is that. Tier 3, Jesus Christ. Tier 3 subs are $20? I can't remember. I think it's 20, and so you did 5 of those, so that's $100. Okay, we're just doing $100 right at the beginning of the stream. Is that what's that? We're not the beginning. It's the 45-minute mark. But Jesus, thank you. That's so generous. Goodness gracious. Well, there we go. Look at that. We're at $104, which means you get the guns. You get the guns. Hello, hello, hello. You get the guns. Thank you. Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, prions are fucking scary. It's not good. Oh, you know what's crazy about this is just what my arms are like. You know, and I don't work out my arms. Right now I'm entirely focused on my lower body. So this is like, that's just what my arms look like, you know? That's just what they'd be looking like. Which means that once I do start working out my arms, which I do plan to do later this year, it's going to be so easy for my arms to bulk out. Like, Jiminy Christmas. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. If we get to another $100, then I'll go get the cat, okay? Let's see. So I do hope that the vegan calls back tomorrow. I'm going to be on with Jovan tomorrow. Normally I do with Jimmy on Calling It Now show. I'm going to be on with Jovan tomorrow. And there is actually a possibility that we would take a vegan call with Jovan, I think. Because I feel like Jimmy would be like, I don't want to fucking deal with this conversation. Which does mean that I'm a little bit limited in which calls that I can take based on who my co-host is. If Jimmy's like, I'm not in the mood for this, then I'm not going to try to push it, you know? But I might be able to convince Jovan. Yeah, you arrived just in time for the gun show. Exactly. Jesus. Chaos Gremlin. Yeah, careful. The vegan might want to eat Jovan. Fuck me, dude. That's crazy. One of my big arguments too, and this is not an argument that I would expect anyone else to make, because I haven't ever heard anyone else make this argument, talking about vegans and like what's the difference. His whole premise was like, well, okay, one of his premises was, what's the difference between eating a human versus eating an animal, or eating a non-human animal, whatever you want to put that way. And part of my argument is that humans are the only animals that can make decisions about the ecosystem and preserving ecosystems. That, like, humans are intelligent enough and have the tools and the capability to make intelligent decisions about balancing an ecosystem. So, like, we hunt deer because if we don't hunt deer, then they will eat all of the underbrush, and then there's no place for rabbits to hide, which then impacts the predators. And the whole ecosystem goes fucky, right? So then you see, oh, okay, well, we reintroduced wolves in Yellowstone Park. So the wolves are now eating the deer, which is helping prevent those downstream ecological problems. So human beings are the only creatures capable of preserving and protecting ecosystems in that way. Obviously, like, beavers do shit to influence the ecosystem. Then when they build their dams, that influences the ecosystem, but they're not like making intelligent decisions, you know? So that's like one of my arguments, that I would be interested to see how a vegan responds to that. You hope those guns bulk good. You could be like me where tone and strength last forever and I can tone easy, but I can't bulk to save my life. We'll find out. I also can't bulk right now. Like, that's part of the problem is the exercise that I'm doing is to help my basic blood flow and functionality. So I did leg press yesterday, and I probably could have done 100 pounds on the leg press, but I stopped it at 80 because I am not trying to bulk, and that might actually hurt me in the trying to build stamina thing that I'm trying to do. So yeah, like I'm doing exercise to improve blood flow. So like having muscular legs improves your blood flow. But if I push too hard and that puts my body into like panic mode, then my body isn't going to heal in the way that it's supposed to. So yeah, I'm gauging how much to push based on how long it takes me to recover between my sets. So if I do, 10 leg press repetitions at 80 pounds, and then it takes me 2 solid minutes to get to a recovery point where I feel like, oh, I should like do another set, then I don't want to push to 100 because that will make that recovery period longer and therefore more difficult. So yeah, and like I'm not doing any upper body because it's really, really difficult to do upper body when your blood flow isn't working very well. So I have to do a lot of, every single day I go to the gym, it's leg day. So I'm doing leg day, leg day, leg day. And then in a couple of months, I should be at a point where I can start introducing upper body exercises. So anyway, yeah, that's me right now. That's what I'm doing at the gym. Protein maxing at, like 100 fucking grams of protein a day or some shit like that. This is delicious. I got this at Walmart. It's cannellini beans and chicken and feta and probably other stuff, and it's really yummy. And sometimes I'll add feta to it, or I'll add like some salad olives or something. And so yeah, get a lot of protein, get a lot of fiber. It's fun. No core. I'm doing a little core, but not a lot. I wonder how Erica would take that argument. She's always talking about the difference between humans and other animals being so blurry, and I think she might challenge that slightly. Could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I just think that humans can work to preserve ecosystems from a different perspective than other animals can. And that part of that means, like, part of being a responsible steward is sometimes killing animals. Like, okay, did you know that if you take a pregnant cat, especially a cat that has just gotten pregnant, is still very early on, and you take that cat in to get spayed, they also abort the kittens. And that is essential, responsible stewardship. Like a certain amount of kitten abortions are necessary to preserve an ecosystem. And a certain amount of killing deer and a certain amount of killing rabbits is necessary to preserve an ecosystem. And even occasionally, killing a bear is necessary for an ecosystem to keep things balanced. So, like, that's just kind of like a thing that I think about a lot when there's some fucking... I think it might be PETA. PETA, actually, is trying to pass a law in Oregon that would basically make any killing of animals illegal. So it would eliminate agriculture. It would eliminate... see what else? Oh my god, I'm getting distracted right now. So it would eliminate agriculture, it would eliminate hunting, it would eliminate fishing. It might even restrict, like, owning pets or something. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. We have to... Yeah, okay, Chaos Gremlin says we have to cull elephants in Africa sometimes. Otherwise, there would be no food for them because of how they can push down entire forests. Yeah. Yeah, I love feta cheese. It's delicious. None of the other species are creating invasive species problems. What? Like in the sense that they get introduced because of human travel? But like, we have invasive blackberries here, and when birds eat the invasive blackberries and they poop out the seeds somewhere else, like, there are obviously animals contributing to the problem of invasive species. But no other animal can manage invasive species the way that we can. So that's kind of the direction that I'm heading with that. Faulty says, been losing weight using the rings. Do you mean like gymnastic rings? They were the best workout purchase after an adjustable dumbbell. Finally getting to the point of moving smoothly again. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah, I decided to level up from doing calisthenics, bodyweight exercises at home to paying for a gym membership because I was like, I'm not going to be able to push myself enough at home. So yeah, it's been good. I like going to the gym. It's nice. Has spring sprung yet where you are? Oh, girl. Yes. Yes. It is so green. Speaking of the blackberries are leafing out now. And the cherry blossoms, we've already had our cherry blossom celebrations in the state capitol. And every time I go to my car, there's a fine yellowish green dust from all the pollen on my car. So yeah, spring has certainly sprung. Frankly, it's too fucking warm, Emma. Like, it has been in the 70s this week, which it's been like 22°C this week, which is crazy. Yeah, like it's like 19°C right now, which is so fucking warm. It's too warm, and it's gonna be like this for the rest of the week, and then it's gonna cool back down into the 50s and 60s. But Jesus Christ, like, I've already had to like start using my AC, and and like I bought a bunch of blackout curtains. Like almost every window in my house now has blackout curtains. Ooh, here's a hot tip for you. If you're a renter, obviously installing curtains is tricky, but if you get tension rods, kind of like what you get in the shower, like shower curtain rod, and how they kind of just twist and like extend like this, and then they kind of just press against the walls instead of having instead of having hardware in the wall, it just kind of holds it against the wall like that. You can buy those and put them on in your windows. Like your windows have like the edges on the side, and then you can put curtains on the window without drilling into the wall. So there's a little hot tip from me to you as a renter. Got overtaken with planting enthusiasm and bought a bunch of fruit and veg plants and seeds. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I decided not to do a community garden this year. I technically had a community garden plot last year, but I really didn't end up doing much with it because I wasn't well enough. Like I wasn't physically well enough to go out and do that in the heat, and yeah, it was also too big of a plot. I probably should start with like a porch garden or like a window garden. So I might look into like maybe I'll open a tab and be like, let me look up some window garden stuff and maybe get some basil to put in the window or something, because that would be nice. Just kind of start small. Oh my goodness. Wetware and Pizzotl have gotten snow. It snowed 6 inches here. It snowed yesterday, and then next Tuesday it's getting into the 80s. Fuck. I already guerrilla gardened some seeds in the park in town. Yeah. If you rent, do whatever the hell you want to your house. Fuck landlords. Listen, I agree that you should be able to customize your house to some degree, but I also, like, okay, here's the thing. You see these walls? These walls are not white. If I lived in a house with white walls, and I have in the past lived in rentals with white walls, yes, I'll drill into the walls and then do the putty over it, and then you can't fucking tell because there's putty, okay? But that is not possible for me with these beige-ass walls, because I live in a rental that wants to think that it's fancy. So, yeah, it's just not going to be easy for me to cover it up. So I think as far as protecting yourself from being fucked over financially when you move out, that's what I'm saying. I think you should, within limits, make alterations that can be fixed so that you don't get fucked out of your, they're going to repaint the house when you leave. But yeah, they're still going to charge me if they have to fill holes in the wall with putty or whatever, So yeah, it's just my personal route. I just want to have as little problem when I move out as possible. I want to get as much of my security deposit back as possible. That's just my prerogative. Are all landlords bastards? Yeah, I mean, I think that fundamentally it is not a good thing to profit off of things that people need to have, and to increase like our rent increased, and I'm like, what additional services are you providing? Did the minimum wage go up and I didn't hear about it? So I do think it's bullshit in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying I'm trying to do my landlord a favor by not drilling into the walls. I don't give a fuck, but I do care about, frankly, why don't rentals just have curtain rods installed? Why is it there not just a permanent installation of curtain rods so that anybody could put up curtains? And then you don't have to deal with, multiple generations of renters drilling into the wall and then covering it up, and then drilling into the wall and then covering it up. And then your entire area around that part of the window, nobody can put up anything there anymore. I have curtains thumbtacked to the wall because I'm too lazy to paint. Yeah, I've used nails before, or pins. I have stuff pinned to the wall all over the place. This guy is held up by 2 pins. That thing is pinned. These are held up by nails. These shelves are held up by nails in the stud. Like, clearly I put shit in the walls. I just try to put shit in the walls that's like, you could just paint over it easily. I'm like letting my food get cold. It's been an hour. I have the opportunity to provide housing for struggling trans people in my community, but it would mean becoming a landlord, so I'm conflicted. Yeah. I feel like there are some things, like, there are some specific issues that I have, you know? Like, if you have a mortgage and the renter is paying your mortgage, I think that's kind of unethical because you are building equity while the renter is not. I think if you are providing that service at the lowest possible cost, you know, if you're like genuinely, you know, charging way under market, then, you know, I feel like you're doing your best in that situation and you're paying it forward and you're using your relative situation of influence, or not influence, you're using your relative privilege to help people out. I also am not against like lease to own situations, you know? But yeah, it's like, you know, if you have an extra house, like let's say you bought a house already and then your dad passed down his house to you when he died. Okay. So you have an extra property. If it's like already paid off and you're charging relatively little, if you're like, okay, this is legitimately, I'm just charging you, like, let's say you mow the lawn. Okay. So you're like, there's a fee for mowing the lawn every month or what have you. The problem is where it comes into profit, you know, that like you're profiting off of. But also, to be clear, that is laying a systemic problem at the feet of an individual who is doing their best to help people, you know? So I do think it's also tricky in that way where if you're like, I have one property that I rent, that is a different scale of problem than corporations buying up entire neighborhoods and building, quote, luxury apartments that they charge way more than they ought to for and provide no additional services. Like, there's no way that, you know, in an apartment complex that, like, if every person is paying $2,000 a month, which is, you know, pretty typical in Oregon, then, yeah, I don't know. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Okay, I left my water in the other room, so I'm just going to run and grab my water. I'm not going to be gone for long. Give me a second. Okay, we got water. Yeah, baby. Have you had its pronouns for a while? Thought they were they, them. Yeah, okay, so I'm at this point where I probably am going to, like, go back to using primarily they, them pronouns. But that does require me to, like, have this changed because I didn't make this. Someone else made this. So I would have to, like, fix it myself. So, yeah. It/they or they/it right now. Yeah. A lot of people like me have most of their life savings tucked into their house, so it may not be feasible to just sell. That said, I do think corporations should not own land. Yeah. I agree. Like, and honestly, I think that that's where I would like to go with it. I don't really want to have retirement. I would rather take the money that I would put in a retirement fund and just fucking own a house and some land. And then that's my my retirement, quote unquote, or that's my where my value is in my portfolio, is like my real estate that I own. But yeah, those are like some conversations that I need to have with my partner as well, because we are finally making enough money that we could put some serious savings in. But, you know, if I want to go to school over the next 4 years, that is going to eventually cost money, because right now I'm eligible for Pell Grants, but I won't be eligible for Pell Grants in the future if my younger sibling moves out or with my income going up the way it has been. So, like, I need to have some of those long-term conversations about, like, when should we start looking for a house to buy? Where are we going to look for a house to buy? Its pronouns are fucking rad. Yeah, I agree. Lex, I've spent all this time getting used to using it's for you. I know. It's like, it's very confronting. And if I do want to eventually have an office job, it's probably better for me not to be like so directly confrontational. It's like, I might even not bring up that I use they, them pronouns, right? If I am applying for an office job. So whatever, you know, we're just kind of dealing with things as they come. The issue is the for-profit standpoint of landlords in general. Some may be okay and are providing effectively a split rent with those renting, but as soon as, quote, overhead, quote, passive income, etc., it becomes a bastard situation. Yeah, that is kind of, yeah, you should not be viewing your investment into property in that way as a passive income source. That's fucked up. You know, then your job is that you own a property, you know, and that's kind of where the ethical problems come into it for me. Have you looked at the housing market? You won't be able to afford anything worthwhile unless you have $500,000 these days. The great thing about buying a house is that you don't have to have $500,000. You just have to pinky promise that you're going to pay $500,000. So, like, I'm definitely aware that the housing market fucking sucks, but we're also expecting, now Kitty's not here right now, I don't think, but we've been expecting the bubble to burst at some point. So, and that's part of why I moved to Oregon as well, because I think compared to California and Washington, Oregon property, especially if you're willing to live outside the city, I think it's probably going to be doable or what have you. But I'm assuming you meant around Portland. Rural Oregon isn't terrible for housing prices, but anything around Portland is $400,000 for a starter home. Yeah. Like, I'm aware. I know it's shit, and so maybe it would be good to wait a few years before we start looking into the house thing. But yeah, I mean, I definitely want to be making more money than I am. So I'm trying to spin up ways to make that happen. Anyway, yeah, I bought a house. Woohoo! And I need to sell my old place. Hey, congrats. In a box, listen. I'm not gonna dog on you for upward mobility, right? And especially because I know that you volunteer and I know that you're trying to pay it forward to the degree that you can. So if you, you know, I know that you're going to be doing your best to do that ethically, whether you rent out that property or you end up selling it. I'm never going to be shitty about trans people or queer people or allies having upward mobility. I want to have upward mobility, right? I want to pay that forward. You know, part of why I want to make more money is so I can help people. Yeah. No, and it's definitely not a cheap place to live in Oregon. I would not suggest that it's a cheap place to live. I moved here from Kansas. My rent doubled when I moved up here. So I'm not going to try to say it's cheap, but as far as basically anywhere you move that has legal protections for trans people is going to be comparatively more expensive. Like, I guess Minnesota might be one of those places where it's not quite as expensive, but it is still, like, relatively trans positive. But anywhere on the East Coast, in the Northeast, anywhere on the West Coast, Colorado is going to be expensive to live there. So it's all relative, you know? Meanwhile, Zillow claims that my house lost $40,000 in value over the past few months. Interesting. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Horde. I didn't realize I wasn't subscribed yet. My bad. Just wanted to stop in and say hey in the chat. Hell yeah. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you for subscribing. Minnesota is still not what I'd call cheap. No, that's what I'm literally saying. Anywhere you move that is liberal-ish leaning is going to be more expensive to live than a shitty rural state. Like, you know, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, relatively cheap. Texas, probably pretty expensive, even though it's red. Yeah, it's unfortunate that trans people are a demographic that is often underemployed, and yet, in order to live in a place that has protections, we have to pay more money. So, have you heard of Earthships? Is that one that my mom... Did I ask my mom to give me her book about Earthships? I feel like she did give that to me. Let me look at... Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm just off camera looking at my bookshelf. Like, I could swear that I have a book about Earthships somewhere on here. Oh, here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my mom gave me this book. I asked her to give me this book, actually. Earthship. It says Volume 1, How to Build Your Own by Michael Reynolds. So, yeah, it's like I'm familiar with the concept of... Oh my god, wow. I didn't realize that this used to be my partner's granddad's book. But anyway, yeah, it's like how to build a house in a way that is sort of... oh god, what is the word I'm looking for right now? Basically, the way that we design houses right now doesn't really make any fucking sense, and you can build your architecture in a way that takes advantage of the natural heating and cooling of the area that you live in. So this is one of those things. Fucking get off of the AI overview. Oh my god. Yeah, off-grid sustainable green buildings, often using natural materials. Sometimes they're considered sort of experimental architecture. So yeah, I'm familiar with Earthships. You know, like how to build a house. These are good. These are good things. Oh yeah, we've got like a little section of like how to use old cans and bottles to make a wall, like to create insulation in a wall. How to do some like joints. I'm pretty sure that this stuff explains like how to build like into the side of a hill to take advantage of that insulation, how to create earthen floors, you know, just all kinds of good stuff. So yeah, I'm familiar with Earthship. Just gonna put that on the floor and I'll put it back later. It's expensive here in blue states because for decades the federal government has been milking rich blue states to prop up poor southern states. Fucking, that's true. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder, like, literally how much the lower cost of even just rent in a red state is subsidized by how high taxes are in blue states. People owning houses. Meanwhile, I live in a 100-square-foot underground apartment. Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm not hitting this from a relative place of privilege. Honestly, for some trans people, like, okay, I don't make a huge amount of money streaming or any of this stuff that I do independently. I make significantly more money than I used to because I work with The Line. And The Line is a very successful channel, and I work a lot, and I work hard, and I do good at my job. So, you know, we do well, and I make more money that way. But if it was just me, like, okay, at this point, if it was just me on my own, I would be doing okay. I could afford a decent place to live and all that. And that's like because I happen to be friends with Jimmy, who owns the company and offered me a job, you know, and I work multiple different roles at that company. I am, I produce and I'm a host, and I'm good enough at my job that he wants me there more. So you can see me basically every Thursday on Calling It Now, and frequently on Thursdays on the Takis Show. And I'm also a backup host when we can't find anyone on Chewed Gum or whatever. So I'm good at my job, and I'm well liked in my company and my position. So I do well. But also, my husband is a cis man who is straight passing and has a background where he was taught how to build stuff from when he was a child. So, when his parents like rebuilt their deck in the backyard, he learned how to use tools, and he had the connections to get a job as a flooring installer. And now he works in a related job. He's not currently a flooring installer, but he works in a related job. And so part of our stability for the last several years, part of how I've been able to grow the channel, is that he provides stable W-2 income. So, like, that is a relative position of stability. People who are trans and only date other trans people don't necessarily have that benefit of like, okay, well, my partner at least fits in society and is able to get a good job and like has the skills required to get a decent job without a college education. So yeah, there's lots of areas where I recognize that I'm having an easier time than some other folks might. Been focusing all of my attention on the Nordic countries. Yeah, I don't blame you. I know a whole trans family who just moved to France. They don't live in Paris, they live near Paris, but yeah, it's crazy. Oh my god, there's a weird, I have like a little ingrown hair on my leg or something, and it's right on top of my tattoo. It's very strange. Building into the side of hills like the Shire? Yeah, exactly. Because basically, like, if you build a building into the side of a hill, you can create like ventilation tunnels that go through the hill, and so they can pull cold air through the ground into the home. So it's like a way of, like I said, taking advantage of natural cycles of cooling. Like, okay, do you guys know that, and let me double check myself on this. Okay. Did you know that people were able to make ice in the desert in a historical context before the existence of electrical refrigeration? Okay, so there's like a whole Wikipedia page about this particular style of architecture that takes it. Okay, the engineering is I don't want to try to pronounce this word and fuck it up. The engineering is optimized to take advantage of the physics of evaporative cooling and radiative cooling, and the fact that an arid desert climate is low in relative and absolute humidity. The low relative humidity increases the efficiency of evaporative cooling due to the vapor pressure differential, and the low absolute humidity increases the efficiency of radiative cooling because the water vapor in the air otherwise inhibits it. So the temperature's dropping into freezing at night, and like there's a whole, like, okay, here's a little, okay, cool. So check this out. You've got a wind tower, cooled basement, hot air entering the access shaft, cooling under the ground, coming back up. So there's like, you can build a house in the desert in a way that stays relatively temperature stable or even cool. Like building being cooled by a Canat and wind tower natural ventilation system. Now, I will say, in those countries, there is also a tendency to have the midday hottest part of the day be the lowest activity part of the day. So maybe it's not like cool enough to really be like exercising or doing anything vigorous, but there are ways of doing this where you can use natural heating and cooling processes just by how you build the building. So this is part of the problem. Sorry, I am in construction now. Like I have like just enough construction background to be really fucking annoyed by this. But modern building materials and modern building techniques are just so inefficient. Like so inefficient. Where we have, you know, we've gotten rid of awnings. Y'all heard me bitching about awnings if you were here on Sunday. I'm pretty sure I was bitching about awnings and the lack thereof. So all these apartment buildings have these flat sides and no awnings over the windows, which makes it hotter inside the building during the summer, which requires you to use your air conditioning. And, you know, if the house is not built in a way where you can have windows open in certain configurations, upstairs, downstairs, across the building, then you can't promote airflow through the building. It's just so many dumb fuck things that we're like, oh yeah, we've managed to standardize this, and like, okay, great, sure, in the sense that it makes building housing faster, I guess, but in terms of the environmental impact and human comfort and the longevity of that design, like, it just is so fucking stupid. Ugh. We would use a similar principle to cool down water bottles in Afghanistan when I was deployed there. The bottle socks. Okay, I didn't know that you could do that, like, in that individual setting. That's very cool. This is like melted ice in it. Ooh, I love cold water. Hey, congrats. AP says, I just had my second successful interview with a tech company in one of the Nordic countries. Hopefully I land this job and I can relocate with my trans partner and say F you to the US. That's awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, like I said earlier, it does amuse me that I could get an electrical engineering degree and then apply for a remote position in a country with real workplace protections. I don't really want to leave the US. I mean, I don't want to, really what it comes down to is I don't want to leave the Pacific Northwest because I like it here. But, you know, if shit happens, then possibly. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really making any plans in that direction, which I guess means it's not going to happen. I can't really imagine a situation in which I would be willing to leave the Pacific Northwest because, yeah, I really, really, really like it here. Light frame construction is bullshit for all climates. Yeah. I really wish we could push back against the whole funding red states with blue state taxes. We are funding red states to maintain their low standards. Way back when we were developing the US, a lot of people built dugouts for their homes, which being partially or mostly underground did not need HVAC. Yeah. I think the whole thing with money being pulled from blue states to red was why I was so livid when Trump decided he wanted to, quote, punish states with sanctuary cities because those are already paying so much. I was practically screaming at the screen that California needs to declare any taxes intended for federal to go to the state instead, since federal was threatening to not help Cali at all. Like, legitimately, like, I don't know why any blue state is still paying federal taxes. I mean, maybe it's the same reason why I'm about to pay several $1,000s in federal taxes. I Googled it. You all may have heard of, you know, when a landlord, staying on topic today, when the landlord refuses to fix your heat or whatever, then you could withhold your rent. But in order to be on the up and up with withholding your rent, you have to put that money in an escrow account. Like, you have to put the money in an account and you tell the judge, like, hey, I have the money and I will pay as soon as these issues get addressed, right? Like, the landlord is falling behind on their part of the contract, their responsibility and their legal responsibility, even outside the contract and its enforcement. Like, they should be, they should be doing this. And so I'm withholding my rent until they withhold their part of the responsibility here. And there are laws to protect you in doing that. But there are no such protections for taxes. You listen, I hear that you can do some fuckery with like paying late and then putting yourself on a payment plan so that you're paying the least amount of taxes that you can on a payment plan. But as far as just not paying your federal taxes, there is no protection for putting your money in an escrow account. So if you're trans and you don't want to be in trouble with the federal government, unfortunately, you kind of do have to pay your taxes. There is no good faith putting your money in an escrow account until the next Democrat becomes president. If, obviously we're making some assumptions there. But so, yeah, I did look it up. I was interested because, yeah, I'm like, fuck you. Are you seriously? You're about to make me pay like $3,000. And what are you doing? Like, I'm trans and you're attacking me personally at the federal level. So what the fuck am I paying you for? Like, why should I pay you to do that? But there's not really a way around it, so far as I can tell. So, but I didn't do a huge amount of Googling. I just kind of got a cursory glance. The cost of living is like half of what we expect to pay in Oregon in the Nordic countries. Yeah, and like, food is less expensive and also higher quality in Europe. I'm familiar with a lot of the reasons why it's nice to live there. And I bet there's probably less of a homelessness problem as well. That is one of the biggest bummers of moving to Oregon, is that there is so much homelessness here. And it sucks to like feel like you can't do anything to help. Like, I'm already paying my taxes and their services are not robust enough or whatever. It's like it's like a bummer. May Fanny Longlegs, what an interesting username. Hello, welcome in. We're having all kind of conversations today. We're talking about the economy. We're talking about taxes. We're talking about how to build buildings in a way that makes fucking sense. So enjoy hanging out. I'm so glad. There's 74 people here listening to me shoot the shit about whatever. Here's the great question, though. In 33 minutes, how many of you are going to leave to go to Matt Dillahunty's stream? But I am glad that you're here and hanging out and enjoying the chill stream time and not listening to me rant. I mean, you're kind of listening to me rant, but we're at least having a chill time about it. It's nuts that the USA still has to do their own taxes. I know, which is crazy because, like, well, okay, for me, as a self-employed person, I don't necessarily have the thing where like the government knows how much taxes I owe, because I don't get a 1099 from Patreon, for example, but I'm still expected to pay taxes on that. So whatever. But for anyone with a W-2, anyone with a regular, employment job situation, yeah, the government knows how much money you owe, and that's how they know if you've underpaid. California should join the EU. True. I like you more than Matt. Listen, it's not a competition. X any all enjoying the show so far. Rock on, Luxander. Thank you. Thank you, W2. Yeah, listen. I embrace being from the Midwest. I like my accent. I like being a little Southern. I like singing country music. I'm okay with those things. My W2. Now, you won't hear me say that I'm putting my clothes in the wash. That was my grandmother. I don't say wash. Washington? Nah, that's not me. I'm from South Louisiana, so I have no room to judge. Listen, I think it's good. I really do like it when trans and queer people kind of embrace their rural or Southern or Midwest heritage. Because there's this really, or even other groups of people as well, like liberals in general. Because it's like, yeah, it's not as though there ain't any liberals in Alabama. It's just that they're disenfranchised. You lost me at country, not music. Listen. Throwback to the time someone asked me if I was ready for Canada to be the 51st state, and then being surprised when I said that most people up here don't like the idea. Also, how fucking stupid it is that the land mass of Canada is comparable to that of the United States, a place where there are 50 individual states. That the idea that Canada as one landmass would become the 51st state. Like, you're dumb. People are dumb. Jesus Christ. Appalachian here, my accent is uncomprehendable when it kicks in. Sure, that's funny. Hey, why are they called hollers? Do you know why they're called hollers? I thought of this the other day when I was singing a song that had the word hollers in it. And I was like, wait, why do they call them that? Why are they called hollers? Please explain. I could Google it, but instead I'm going to ask you. The person who was talking about the 51st state also really didn't like my suggestion that the US should become Canada's 4th territory. Fuck yeah. That's hilarious. Canada is the second largest country in the world, but 90% of its population is within 100 miles of the US border. Oh, did not know that. Because you got to holler across them. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the US should be Canada's 11th province, right? But then we're part of the Commonwealth. I don't want to be part of the Commonwealth. I don't want to have, like, technically a parliament and a representative government and a prime minister, but, like, secretly the queen or the king, I guess, right now. Like, I don't want to be part of the Commonwealth. Was that really better? Is that really better? I don't know. Maybe it is better. I don't know. Maybe it is better. I used to hate sounding like Applejack from My Little Pony, but I've just learned to embrace it. Oh my goodness. Actually, part of the reason why I have embraced some aspects of Southernism in my accent is because, well, this was like before I started testosterone. I really did not like how I sounded when I would say like going. I did not like the E, like the sharpness of my E, but I think that was like maybe dysphoria. So I started saying going and saying instead of saying, going, doing. And that was partially just because I did not like that part of my accent, like the going, doing. And I guess it is still a little bit pinchy and not sort of pleasant. But, you know, I like the relaxed, more open vowels sound. If that makes sense. Gonna. Yep, gonna. Lux is Super Saiyan. That's true. Listen. Gohan keeps trying to call in. Speaking of the line, we've got this caller who was banned for a while, and I think Call In Studio fucked up and, like, undid some of our bans. So, like, we've had Gohan calling again, and he always wants to call in with no pronouns, and he calls himself fucking Gohan. We know that that's not his real name. That's not his real name, excuse me. And, he always wants to call in with no pronouns. And one time he called recently and Josie was like, well, listen, I understand you don't understand gender. Maybe that's because you're agender. And then the next time he tried to call in on Chewed Gum and he said that his pronouns were Saiyan, like as in Gohan, like as in Super Saiyan. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. Like, absolutely the fuck not. You're not going by fucking Dragon Ball Z pronouns. Not happening. So I was like, well, Josie, that backfired a little bit, huh? He was like, well, you have to respect my agender identity. These are my pronouns. I was like, absolutely the fuck not. Annoying. The real answer is that it's a hollow, like a ravine. So they call them hollers. But it's a hollow. I guess I always thought that holler meant like hills. But I guess it kind of still alludes to the hills because you're referring to the space between the hills. F Gohan. Vegeta is the best Saiyan, hands down. Listen, Vegeta is my favorite, but I'm not going to say F Gohan. Oh, boy. It's insane how much these people just want to call in even after all that. Like, that's the peak of their lives, is calling in repeatedly till blocked. Fucking true. Chaos Gremlin. Like, when Andrew from New Jersey, I banned him. And I told him to his face why he was banned. And then he started calling Jimmy Snow Show. And then something happened on Call In Studio where his number got unbanned. And I'm like, and he's calling again. So I'm like, do these people, after they get banned, do they still try to call every week? And to be clear, the way that it works on Call In Studio is not, it's not as though I see them call in and then I hang up on them. I ban them, and then anytime they try to call in, I don't really know how it works. I guess they get like a busy signal or something like that, or that they don't ever get through. I don't even see that they are calling. I can see a little number at the top of the screen that says how many blocked calls we've gotten in a show. Like how many times somebody who has a blocked number has attempted to call. Sometimes it gets into the 80s. I wonder if that's just people like repeatedly trying to call in on the web caller and their IP address has been banned or what have you. But yeah, I'm genuinely wondering what is the deal with these folks where they know that they're banned, and presumably for several weeks or several months they've been trying to call in and unsuccessful. And then something happens and they get unbanned. Like, yeah, I saw Andrew got Jimmy a whole $300 yesterday. Someone paid $200 so that Jimmy would take Andrew from New Jersey's call. And then later on, there was a $100 donation to drop Andrew and hang up on him. It's like, okay, cool. At least we made money off of that. Or I guess basically like Jimmy and Alyssa made money off of that. But yeah. I'm gone fishing down the holler. If you needs me, give me a whoop. Yeah. Yeah. In the holler, do y'all say yins? Or is that like a specifically Pennsylvania thing? Vegeta is basically a racial supremacist and sweats toxic masculinity from his pores. That's true. You cannot deny the power of the moment, though, when he says, "That's my Bulma!" That's a good moment. You know, we love, I actually really love Vegeta. Problematic fave. I love Vegeta. Oh, in a box. Oh, that's so amazing. Gohan means rice in Japanese, which I did know. You could quote ban Gohan, and it would be a great pun because Ban Gohan is dinner. Okay, that's fucking cool. I love that. Why would anyone pay to listen to Andrew? That's like paying to shoot meth. Wetware says, I mean, people do pay for meth. Oh, that's true. You know, and it's like a multi-step process, and you got to pay for the supplies as well as the drugs. Oh, I'm going to kill myself. Okay, anyway. Depends on the holler. Around me, it's yins, yuns, and y'all. I assume that's yuns. Y-O-U-N-S. The best is when Bulma threatened Vegeta with no more group baths with her, and he immediately stands down. He respects his wife at the very least. Listen, he is not ashamed in any way of being attracted to Bulma. He's like, of course, Saiyans are attracted to strong women. Like, okay, yeah, we get it. You know, you like being tied up. It's fine. Jesus. I stand corrected. What was I thinking? Oh boy, we're having fun. I was in a little bit of a bad mood earlier, and I'm in a much better mood now. I was in a really good mood yesterday too, so I think like whatever changes I'm trying to make in my life, they're attributing to a better mood all around. Oh, it's Yoons. Like you ones, probably. Yoons? That's cool. Yeah, accidental nap and I wake up a tier 3. Shout out to Inabox, who always gifts the subs. Inabox never purchases himself a sub. Always donated. Well, it's appreciated. It does sound like we're shifting into talking about food. I'm not talking about food. I'm just eating. There's a difference between talking about food and eating. In fact, the more I eat this food, the less likely it is that I'm going to talk about food. What's up, Big Jerry? Cool name. The more anime I see, the more I look back at Dragon Ball and go, you know what? Toriyama is far from the medium's worst writer. Yeah. Arden just told me that the woman who wrote Full Metal Alchemist manga she has another manga that has now been turned into an anime. It's called like Demon something or other. So that's exciting to me. I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is like my favorite anime, I think. So. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I thought that the green dot by your name was he, him pronouns. That's my bad in a box. So sorry. Pronouns are actually they, them, and I'm a trans femme NB. Okay, so I'm sorry if I had just hovered over your name. Well, okay. Oh, you know what? On this monitor, it's because the dot is so small, green and blue look very similar. So like Viren has the blue. By the way, that's one of the best reasons to join the website chat, luxander.net/live over here, is that you, if you're in this chat, you can place your pronouns on your settings, and then when someone hovers over your name, like if I hover over M. Dizzy, he/they pronouns. I hover over Lord Byron, he, him pronouns. I hover over Inabox, and if I had done that a minute ago, I would have seen that the pronouns are they, them. Thank you. Yeah, it's Daemon something, like Daemon. I looked it up before. Demons of the Shadow Realm is the name of the anime. So, oh dude, this protagonist looks a lot like fucking Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist. Love the color for he, they, though, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's like a bluish color, like a blue, I'm like, I can't see. Bluish, greenish color. How do you feel about Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss? I haven't seen either of them. Hazbin Hotel, unfortunately, the first time I ever saw anything about Hazbin Hotel, it was when a super toxic person kept using reaction gifs from Hazbin Hotel, and so it's kind of poisoned for me. I'm probably never going to watch Hazbin Hotel.
Drea gave Inabox a tier 4 subscription. It seems only fair. Also, Kitty?
Is the tier? How much is the tier 4? Is the tier 4 $100? Is that? I don't remember what tier 4 is. I'm gonna take your word for it and assume that you just dropped $100 and that's why you're wanting the kitty. I'm willing. I'm willing and ready. Hell of a Boss is so great. Hazbin is awesome too, but Hell of a is my fave. Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you. That's so sweet. Y'all who do the donations. Okay, $96 for 3 months of tier 4. Jesus. Okay, so we already had 104. Okay, cool. We're doing it. We're doing it. Brrr. I'm gonna go find my cat, okay? We're gonna torture her, okay? We're ready. It's baby time. Oh, the baby. Hello, baby. Oh, yeah? Hi. I assume that you could hear her when she meowed just now. Hi, baby. Look at her little fuzz. Whoop, 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 whoop. Nope. You're not allowed to leave. I'm sorry. Oh, hello. Is that you? Hi. She smells like floor dust. Mm-hmm. Hey, baby. Mina Bina. Oh, yeah? Do you want to tell the people how you feel? You want to tell everybody all about it? Good sign that she does not appear bothered at all by this. I mean, she doesn't like it, but she's pretty pliant. Are you a good girl? Are you baby baby? Yeah, you baby baby? Oh. Oh, baby girl. You good girl? Oh, I know you're a little annoyed. I know about it. I heard about it. I hear ya. Look at how fluffy she is. Look at her butt. Getting your tail in my food. Mm-hmm. You very good. You very baby. Oh my god, her tiny little voice. Ugh, good girl. See, and she likes me enough that when I pick her up, she'll lie down on the floor here. You could hear her. Oh god, I know her tiny little voice. Oh my god, she's so cute. I fucking love this cat so much. Are you a good girl? Are you a little bit annoyed now? But you didn't run away. Hi, Mina Bina. Oh, I guess it's a little bit overdue time for her to get her wet food. Do you think she deserves it? Do you think she deserves the wet food? It's about an hour after I would normally feed her wet food. I just kind of forgot earlier. It's like weird because I start this show at 2 and I normally feed her at 3. I know her tiny little voice. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. My hot take about Hazbin Hotel is it made a lot of the internet glorify trauma a bit too much in the wrong way. That makes sense why the toxic person that I know liked Hazbin Hotel so much, because she definitely glorifies trauma a lot and identifies with her trauma in a way that is quite problematic. And they said Matt, not Cat. Gosh, Lux. Yeah, I guess it's almost time for Matt. My spouse kind of love bombs on our skittish puppy sometimes, and when he lets him go, he'll just stay right by him still. She's a good girl. She's scratching her forehead now. You good girl. You goober. She's too funny. I love it. I'll get her like riled up and she wants to play and stuff, and she'll like get on her back and be like, ah. It's adorable. I'm gonna try to get some videos and put them up on the Patreon. You think she deserves the wets? Yeah. I guess she deserves the wets. Okay, I'm gonna step away for just a few minutes. I'll go ahead and switch to the standby screen, and I'll go give her wet food. Hey, Mina, are you hungry? Hungry? Yeah? She knows that word. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back now. I see you guys were keeping yourselves entertained in the chat while I was gone. No music. You guys had to do the music yourselves. Mm-hmm. I got new water. I finished eating my food. I gave the cat her food. So we're all good. We're all ready to go for the next hour. Next hour of the stream. I love you guys. That's really funny. You're doing the cat jam to the music that y'all are making in the chat. That's funny. Mentally played some Jazz Dog in my head. True. Silence Dog. You just remind me of Jiminy Christmas. Like Science Dog versus Seance Dog in Invincible. Yeah, y'all had it covered. Y'all had it covered with music. I hummed for everybody, but they said they couldn't hear me. Yup. She's so funny. I'm like, are you ready? You ready for your wet food? And she's like, eh. Adorable baby. There's no point in really doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Look at this. Woo-hoo-hoo. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at what we did. We got to 200. Thank you guys so much. Goodness gracious. So generous today. I appreciate you. And, I don't think I added that, like, $10 super chat earlier. I'm so sorry. I have to add everything manually, and I forget sometimes to add the super chats. So I apologize, but we're actually at $210 today. Thank you so much. And by the way, everybody, just so you know, super chats, YouTube takes 30% of your money, and I don't see any of that money until I get my ad payout next month. So if you super chat me today, I won't get it until the end of May, basically, which is still appreciated, and I still count it toward our donation goal. But just so you're aware, that's how it works. My music was my parrot squawking. You know, God bless everybody who likes birds, but I don't like birds. 212. We got two $2 super chats, which is where we are at $4, and then Drea's $96 super chat brought us up to the 100, and then your $100 super or $100 chat, and then the $10 one. So I think we're at 210. But if I'm wrong by $2, I'm willing to be wrong by $2. It's over 9,000. That's true. That's so true. I have to run. It's getting late here in Iceland, and I have to move on to my next photography location in the morning. I tried to get out to the cliffs for puffins today, but deep snow stopped me. Well, stay safe out there. And I hope that you're doing well. Yeah, I start pretty early in the day, partially because I have so many people who watch in Europe. So I try to accommodate that to an extent, which might actually be kneecapping me in the American audience. But who cares? Doesn't matter. I work earlier in the day because I feel like it. But anyway, yeah, stay safe, have fun, and sleep well in Europe tonight. Jazz Dog says, I'm back. What happened? Yeah, I stepped away for a minute and I didn't put on any music. So if you scroll up, you can see everybody making music sounds in the chat. Yeah. Something cool about birds is that their red blood cells are nucleated, unlike mammals. What does that mean? Like, what does it functionally mean? What happens when bird cells are not nucleated? They have a different metabolic function, increased oxygen capacity. Okay, cool. Neat. But I don't like birds. I mean, like, again, God bless everybody who likes birds. I don't like birds. They, like, are loud. They wake up in the morning, and they're loud, and they carry diseases, and I mostly want them out of my yard. That's what I feel. YouTube and Twitch suck for payouts in a timely manner. My Twitch pays out in the middle of every month, and that's only if I hit the $50 goal. Yeah, honestly, the whole I get your super chat next month thing, that's assuming that I made enough money to get to $100 in payouts. It just so happens that I typically make more than $100 a month. So, because otherwise YouTube doesn't give you your money unless you have over $100 in the payout. So, yeah, assuming that I made enough money in the month, then I'll get that next month. But yeah, it's typical at this point. It's pretty regular. It's been a long time since I have not had a monthly ad payout on YouTube. I kind of wonder what it's going to be like next month because I fucked up this month and I did not post any clips, basically. I think I posted like one clip in March. And I need to get on that. I need to get on it. But we're allowed and carry diseases, and I want other humans out of my yard. To be clear, Bramley, I don't want to be around other people either. Someone earlier said, Wetware, I think, said that they like living in an apartment. I don't like living in that close quarters with people. I do not like smelling other people's weed or like hearing other people's children scream or listening to couples fight next door. Like, I am not a fan of living in close quarters with other human beings. It's part of why I want to buy a house. And I respect it. I don't mind smelling my neighbor's dinners. Like, that's something I don't mind. I don't mind that. But yeah, humans have diseases. I wear a mask anytime I'm around other humans. I don't like them very much. So I told my son Conyer Custard, if you don't like him, loud is true for him at 120 decibels. Don't like it. The last time I lived with a bird, because I lived with a family member who had a bird, and that bird wanted to be friends with the neighborhood crows. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm hearing like a parrot making crow sounds. God, it was annoying. Not my favorite. Humans are also gross little freaks. I'm agreeing with you. This is why I own a house. I hope it doesn't affect anyone else. I keep to myself. Yeah, truly. Move in with other furries instead. Problem solved. See? Problem solved. We don't have nucleated... Hold on, wait. Hold on. Wait, yeah, whatever. Our blood is different than birds because we need to have more room for hemoglobin. Okay, that makes sense. I like corvids. I like birds that hunt things. I like owls. I like hawks. Corvids are intelligent. I like intelligent birds. I guess that's not... You can't say blanket that's true because I don't think I like magpies. Magpies are mean. I do want to be friends with crows, though. I want to, like... My partner... Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it on the... I'm going to see something real quick. I need to get some... I need to get some frickety frackin' peanuts. Peanuts in the shell. The next time I get groceries, I can get some peanuts in the shell. Because my partner wants to make friends with crows at his job. And I want to support him in that effort. So you can take peanuts in the shell. Because they like a little challenge. But you can cover them with capsaicin. Like you could like roll them in cayenne pepper powder or something, because then the squirrels won't eat it, but the birds aren't bothered by the capsaicin in the cayenne powder. So okay, Bloody Hatter, that's funny. My neighbors never complained about my wife and I fighting, and we solved all of our disputes the bonobo way. That's funny. If you guys don't know, bonobos solve all of their problems by having sex, or at least by genital rubbing. Like anytime they get freaked out or like upset about something, they do a little genital rubbing and then kind of go back to normal. So that's funny. Always befriend wild birds. They might bring you money. True. The only non-human animal I want in my house is my cat. Amen. Amen to that. I'll preach in that one. I'm sorry, Dizzy. That sounds really frustrating. Having ice in your town. Yeah. I mean, this is part of why I'm a homebody and I don't like going places because, yeah, like there's ice all throughout the Willamette Valley. Anywhere you go in the Willamette right now. Oh no, we about to lose people to Matt. No! Actually, we're doing pretty good. We still got 68 people in here. This has potential. I'll talk to my therapist about the bonobo way. No, we're losing at least one of you to Matt. No! Hi, baby. Hi. See, she doesn't stay mad. Well, she does kind of stay mad. We were not friends the day after I took her to the vet the most recent time. She was like, holy shit, why are you doing this to me? But then we became friends again. I've been kind of like Googling some stuff about cat behavior. I've had cats literally my entire life, but a lot of the cats that I've had have been ones that we found while they were kittens. So we kind of raised them, and that's not the same as getting a cat who was a year old when we got her at the shelter. Hi, I'm talking about you. Yeah, I am talking about you. She's being real cute right now. But she is a year old already, and so I don't know what her situation was. And so I'm having to learn her behavior in a way that I haven't had to learn the behavior of all my cats previously. So I'm trying to figure out, like, she wants to be near me, but she does not want to be in my lap. She'll get in my husband's lap, but she doesn't even really try to get in my lap unless she jumps up here for a second and then jumps back down again because she wants something from me. But she sits nearby and she'll put her back to me, which means that she trusts me based on what I've Googled. And she also positions herself usually between me and the door. Not all the time. Sometimes she'll sit over here. This is not where the door is. The door is over there. So she'll sit over here sometimes on the floor as like, so I'm looking out for her. But frequently she'll like be on this side of me and she'll be facing toward the door. So I think she's kind of doing a protective lookout. She's also the first female cat that I've had. I've had pretty much all boy cats before. And, like, boy cats tend to be really chill. And I guess girl cats have a tendency to be a little bit more, like, wiry and a little skittish. Which makes sense to me if, like, on a biological level, they are supposed to be, you know, their mothers and they have to look out for the kittens and they stick around for the kittens and everything. So it kind of makes sense to me why there might be those behavioral things. But, yeah. Hi, baby. Are you sweet girl? You are a good girl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so she's my first female cat, really, so I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around her behavior. So, I don't know. It's like, why does she like being in my partner's lap more than mine? And for the first few weeks, she would even come sit on me while I was sitting on the couch thing in the living room. But she doesn't really do that now. Well, I guess maybe because, like, my partner wakes up in the morning and feeds her, and then I don't usually get out of bed until, like, 2 hours later because I don't sleep well. I sleep in the morning because I don't fucking sleep for my life. But, so by the time I wake up, she's like, I'm ready to play! And I'm like, can you please stop? I struggle a bit in the mornings, so, yeah. We don't really have, like, cuddle time. But she wants to be around me all the time. She wants me to play with her. But I'm like annoyed because I want her to be more cuddly. And I feel like maybe she'll calm down as she gets older and maybe she'll become more cuddly. But maybe that's Delulu. Maybe I just need to accept that she's never really going to be a... she's never really going to be a cuddly cat for me. It's probably as simple as your partner's lap is warmer. That's... Yeah, we've speculated that as well. He is warmer. He always runs warmer than I do. So that might be it. She will prefer, she seems to spend a lot of time in here with me, lying on the floor, versus being in his office or in his lap. Like, she spends way more time with me, but not in my lap. So yeah, it's strange. I've noticed most animals I've met have a slight trust issue around men. She doesn't seem to have that problem. Since the very first weekend we got her, she has shown some preference for him in certain ways. But yeah, it's really interesting. I'm like, so you want to be with me more than you want to be with him, but you just don't want to be on my lap. So we have a little bit more of a companionable relationship, which I'm fine with. It took me a minute. At first I was a little bit upset that she didn't want to, you know, sit with me, but she wants to be around me a lot. And she doesn't seem bothered by me sitting here, like, yelling at my computer. She's just grooming herself right now. What is Dragon Puppy? Is that a bearded dragon? She may eventually come around to more touchiness. My skittish pup has gotten to the point he'll army crawl up the bed to give spouse kisses and cuddle with me. Yeah, part of the issue is definitely that she is still very playful. She's still in this zone of like, I've got all kinds of little scratches all over my hand. I'm trying to train her not to bite so hard because she's a big biter. She's gentle with her claws. Like, if she were harsh with her claws, I would have red marks all over me, but I just have little pink marks because she's very gentle. Even when she kicks, she's very gentle. She doesn't claw you with her claws, but she's a biter, and she wants to crunch. She wants to bite. So I'm trying to train her out of that. Like, I'll stop playing with her and leave the room if she bites me too hard. So I'm trying to train her out of that. But yeah. Oh, okay. Dragon Puppy is a kink thing. Okay, cool. Did not know that. Neither of my cats lay on me, but my girl cat does sleep at the side of my head, and occasionally her brother will curl up at my feet. He likes to be picked up briefly. We're trying to get her to sleep with us in the bed, but she doesn't really want to be in the bed. For the first month, we didn't let her in the bed because she had tapeworm. And so she was constantly pooping out little pieces of tapeworm. So I didn't let her in the bed. But we got her taken to the vet, and we got the tapeworm taken care of, and it's fine now. But she doesn't really want to be in there. So I have dental treats that I'm supposed to give her every day. She had some gingivitis, so I've implemented some things that the vet told me to do to fix her teeth situation. So I have to feed her like 16 of these special treats every day. And I've started to give them to her in the bedroom this week to see if we can, like, to see if we can create some positivity around the bedroom and let her sleep in there with us. Because she's the only cat, so it's not like she has somebody to cuddle with at night. And I would really like to get her in the bed, but she's just like a little bit too wiry. Now, to be fair, we have only had her for a little bit over a month, about a month and a half now. So when we get to like the end of May, we might start to see her more permanent personality kind of kicking in. Because I've heard that it takes about 3 months for a cat to really fully settle in. And especially, I took her to the vet twice since we brought her home. So we got her at the end of February. I've taken her out of the house twice to go to the vet. And she was not in a stable situation before. So I wonder if it'll just take a few months for her to relax. In my experience, female cats choose the dominant human by their scent. Usually it's the person with the most consistent smell, but that one gets the, quote, parent treatment. Yeah, maybe I'm getting a sibling treatment where she wants to play with me and she's more demanding of me and stuff like that. I don't know. Oh no, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Oh, she's laying down on the floor over here now. She's very fucking cute, dude. Yeah, I want to post more of her on the Patreon. I just forget to. So I should probably set myself an alarm and then once a week post whatever pictures I've taken of her over the last week. And that's only for $1. For $1 a month, you get Mina pictures on Patreon. Mine like Greenie's chicken flavor for dental treats. I'm so sussy-wussy about Greenie's treats because they had a major lawsuit some number of years ago about their treats causing intestinal blockages. So I got her, I think they're Purina brand treats. It's like a big ball that she has to crunch on. So not really any problem with her having an intestinal blockage with that. The tiny little shadow girl cat we have is the opposite. She never bites, but she'll get really clawy when she's in that particular play mood. Yeah. I don't think her jaws are like strong enough to actually pierce my skin. So in that way, I guess it's good that she's more tooth forward rather than claw forward, because her claws are definitely sharp enough that she could really get you. And she has made me bleed a couple times by accident. Like, she just catches my skin by accident. She's clearly not, like, attacking me in order to hurt me or whatever. And she's just playful, you know? She's just playing. Otherworlder, welcome in. Still 65 people in here, even though Matt Dillahunty just started streaming. So that's good to know. There's some crossover, but not too much crossover in the line. That's the tricky thing. The line, we want to increase how much programming we have. So yesterday, for example, they recorded, they did the podcast with Alyssa and Jimmy, and they're starting to do that live. So they live streamed the podcast, and then we did Chewed Gum immediately afterward. And then immediately afterward, there was Calling It Now with Jimmy and Ari Mermaid. So we're basically just trying to do... We're about to be at a place where we're regularly doing 6 days a week of programming, and sometimes Friday, but definitely Saturday. So 6 days a week of programming across multiple channels. And it's going to be really tricky for those of us who stream independently. Like, you know, sometimes they do Calling It Now before... Actually, did they? Let me check that. Did they do Calling It Now before Matt's show today? What am I doing? YouTube. Jimmy Snow and The Line. No, I don't think they did. No, they did not do Calling It Now just now. But yeah, so sometimes they do. Sometimes they do Calling It Now during my, like, right when my show starts, at the same time as their show starts. And then, of course, we have the crossover with Matt right now. But, okay, moving on from that. The problem is my cat has rejected all the other treats I tried. Fair enough. As long as she's chewing them and not, like, swallowing them whole, then yeah, you're good. I think your cat can pierce your skin with its bite if it wants to. It's probably being careful. I don't think she's being careful. Maybe she could, but, like, she hort. Sometimes I'm like, that's too hard. You hort me, and I'm not going to play anymore. You hort. Oh, by parent treatment, I meant it's probably you. She's looking at you to lay down the boundaries while playing. It's how they learn the, quote, pecking order, for lack of a better cat term. Yeah, that's fair. I feed her. She gets fed 3 times a day. I feed her 2 of those times. My partner feeds her in the morning. Anytime she gets special treats, like her dental treats, I do the dental treats. We kind of both clean her cat box. So, and we both pick her up without permission. We both pick her up and hold her against her will. And we both smack on her and, like, rile her up and bother her sometimes until she's like, okay, I'm going to run away. I'm overstimulated now. So, yeah, we both kind of treat her very similarly. But I kind of am the default parent because I'm home. So for all of our cats, the whole time, like, well, you know, I guess we didn't used to be very responsible as far as taking them to the vet and everything, but the more responsible we've gotten, that's just me doing more. I take them to the vet because I'm home during the day and I can take them anytime. Whereas if my partner was on his own and he had a cat, he would have to figure it out. Like, oh, on Saturday, or oh, after work one day, or oh, do I have to call out of work this day to take the cat to the vet? So I just kind of by default end up doing a lot of those things. Yeah, but she's a good girl. She's a sweet little baby, and I love her very much. Mina, are you a sweet girl? You baby. Yeah, she's tired. It's the middle of the day. I didn't really think about this until just now, but wait till her adult teeth come in. She's a year old. I think she's done growing. She's a year old. She's been spayed already. Yeah, it's a lot of content to keep up with. I miss a lot of lives now. Fucking no shit. I hope it's sunny tomorrow. I don't. I'm good. I'm happy for you / I'm sorry, but the sunnier it is, the more hot it is in my house, which I don't like. So I have Jazz Dog songs stuck in my head. I'm really looking forward to when it finally cools the fuck down this weekend. I want it to be rainy. I moved up here for rain, you know? We started getting these like sunny days in early spring, and I'm like, stop it. Stop it. It's supposed to be April showers. Stop it. Yeah. I definitely moved up here because I wanted the rain and the clouds. So winter is going to turn out to be my favorite season in Oregon, I guess, because winter is the long rainy season. It's cloudy most of the time. It's like cold, but not super cold the whole time. So yeah, I guess that's going to end up being kind of my favorite. Wild shot in the dark, but you like dragons? Did you think that? Let's count. That's 1. That's 2. There's a tiny one there. That's 3. That's 4. There's another tiny one there. That's 5. This is actually 6 because this is like a rabbit skin with like a Rorschach splash on it that looks like a dragon. And then there's 7 right there on the calendar that you can't see because my desk I'm not standing right now. I should do a better job of switching back and forth between standing and sitting. And also this is a dragon egg styled after the dragon eggs from season 1 of Game of Thrones. So yeah, no, I don't like dragons. I don't like them. I like colder because you can always add layers. Amen. Yeah. I can't peel my skin off. Right? There's only so naked you can get. You ever read Aragon as a kid? Listen, I listened to Aragon every night as my going to sleep thing. Like the Audible app has a little timer, so I can be like, okay, 45 minutes. Right now I'm listening to Aragon specifically. Yeah. And my partner and I have talked on and off about making an Aragon-related podcast because they're doing a Disney Plus show for Aragon. I contributed to the Kickstarter, so fucking eventually, one of these days, I'm going to have a statue of Saphira. I don't know where I'm going to put it, especially because I already have this fucking Tower of Barad-dûr here. So I don't know. I'm like, am I going to put Saphira over there? I don't know. Maybe I should get some shelves over here so that I can put more. Maybe I should get another bookshelf because I have a bookshelf over here. So maybe I should get like a bookshelf over here so that I can put stuff. But then where am I going to put Barad-dûr? Where am I going to put the Eye of Sauron then? Where? I know y'all can't really see it here. I haven't showed it off since I put it there, but like, look at it. Best Lego set ever. Okay, come back. Come back, chat. Oh, you're falling now. What are you doing? Okay. What's the plushie? Plushie. Oh, this? Those are just foxtails. Well, I guess that one right there is a bobcat tail. Bobcat tail. And then the black foxtail has been dyed black, but then this foxtail is like just the regular colors. So, my foxtails that I bought at the Renaissance Festival. Doesn't that Eye of Sauron cost like $1 bajillion? Yeah, it was not cheap. My partner got it for me for my birthday. He got a little like bonus at work. And so that was like my one big birthday present. I got a couple other presents, TBH, but yeah, I built it. It took like over a week. And part of that was all evening Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday, my birthday weekend. And then periodically throughout the rest of that week. So it took me from one Friday to the next Friday to finish it. So yeah, I built it. Every time I see it in a store, I want it so bad, but it's either that or rent, and I sadly must choose rent. Yeah. Like I said, occasionally we can do stuff like that. Got a little bit of extra money. And I've been wanting, since I saw that they were coming out with it, I was like, oh, I want it. And then my partner, like, had to shop around quite a bit to find one. So, yeah. I still want a Minas Morgul. Yeah. Good night in a box. Bye, 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 bye. And I've heard that they're doing Minas Tirith. I don't care as much about Minas Tirith, but, you know, it's going to be cool, like, to have a giant Lego set with 1,000,000 billion pieces. I kind of want to put a mirror behind it, because, like, the front of the tower is the tower, right? But then the back of the tower, you can see into it, and there's some cool stuff. Like, there's a throne room with a cool little dark throne that's the size of the minifig. I've got my Sauron minifig. I've got the mouth of Sauron. I've got Frodo and Sam and a couple of the rings and like 4 or 5 orcs, including the orc from the third movie, the like really pale white one with the grungly face, who was like the general on the battlefield in Minas Tirith, Gondor situation. Yeah, so anyway, I'm a nerd. Did you know that I'm a big fucking nerd? Happy belated birthday. I saw the clip with you wearing the glasses, goofy stuff. Yeah. You know, we like to capitalize on the birthdays. You know, Jimmy's always like, listen, if it's somebody's birthday on the line, you better be plugging it. You like milk those super chats. So I figured by wearing the glasses, which are still on my desk, I haven't decided if I'm getting rid of these because they've kind of gotten a little bit gross. They like absorb the oils from my face because they're paper. So like the sides of it absorb oils from my face. Don't know if you can see it, like right there. But anyway, yeah, so I figure, you know, you just wear this and then you don't have to say anything. You can just be like, hey, passively, it's my birthday, you know? Yeah, needs a mirror and definitely mood lighting. That is something that I think is a little bit of a bummer about it, is that the floors are so close together that it can be quite dark inside. So like the bottom floor is the armory / forge. So there's an orc in there who is forging a sword, and there's a gibbet. There's a fucking gibbet, which is so adorable. And then the second floor is where the orcs eat. So there's like a table and like a cauldron and stuff, and like an ale barrel and things. And then the next floor is the throne room, which the throne, you pull something and it opens. So the throne splits in half and opens, and behind that is like a secret room where there's a palantir that has 2 sides. The one side of the palantir shows the white tree of Gondor on fire, and the other side shows the Shire on fire. And then the next floor above that is the supposedly like the chamber of the mouth of Sauron, and it has like, you know, like shelves and stuff in there. It's like a little library with scrolls on the walls. And then what's above that? What's above that? I guess it's just like library. Oh yeah, there's like there is a cool little near the top, you know, in those old libraries where there's a ladder that like rolls around and moves. There's a ladder in there that rolls around and moves. So yeah, it's very fun. Very, very fun. But yeah, I would love to put a mirror behind it. Maybe not like where it is currently. I might put a mirror behind it if it's somewhere else, because I don't want you guys to see the entire room. There's a reason why my office is set up the way that it is, and it's so that you can only see this wall. But yeah, I'd love to put a mirror behind it. I'd love to put in some LEDs in there, and maybe like light up some of the lava, because there's lava all over it. Really, 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 really cool set. Like super duper cool set. Soldering project, yeah, that's true. That live with Forrest was wild. The glasses gave you the chud luck. It was crazy. We got so many banger calls, banger after banger after banger that day. I want to stream with Forrest more often because I think that we have good energy and he attracts the dumb fucking anti-trans callers that I sometimes don't get on Takis. My B-Day was a week ago. One of my cohabs' B-Day was on the 2nd, along with their twin brother. Hey, Aries! Aries! I don't actually care about astrology. The rest of the room is just piles of clean clothes that need folded. Listen, it is messy. That's true. It is messy in here. That's part of it. Oh my god, I just watched the call with Kevin. You know what's really great is I don't remember any of these people or their names. Does Takis actually get anti-trans callers? They seem like oddities. So there was a week recently where we got several I was me and Ben. So it might have been last week actually, that Ben and I got several good challenging callers on Takis. And then I went to go do the show with Jimmy and we got no combative callers. Not one single combative caller. We had 2 calls the whole show and they were both like kind of friendly calls. So it was weird. But yes, all of the clips that I post on my channel, for the most part, are like confrontational calls. I don't really post any of the advice calls on my channel. And to be clear, I know that I only posted like 1 clip in the month of March. That's not because I don't have clips ready. It's just because I don't want to fucking do the work. Like, really. So I'm finding ways to streamline that. I need to like record an intro, outro that I can just reuse. So I'm just going to record intro, outro, Patreon merch call in the middle of the episode and then just use the same one over and over again so that I don't have to keep recording because it's really, really, really difficult to make myself sit down and record anything at the moment. Just don't want to fucking do it. Just a huge amount of resistance. And I would rather just do it once and then not have to do it again because I'm already on camera a lot. But yeah, so we do get anti-trans calls on Takis. It does happen. That was last week. It sucked on the Snow Channel that night, but you got to leave early. That's true. You know? We still made money. We still made Super Chat money. It just sucks when you don't get clips from it, because obviously we make money on the Super Chats, and then you upload the clips, and frankly, it's kind of cool how well the clips do on the Jimmy Snow Channel, right? Like, if we look at, when was the last clip of mine that went up on the Line main channel? Like, the Line main channel, the last clip that I was in that went up was from 2 weeks ago, and it got 9.7 thousand views. And it was a call with Ben, just if you're curious. Trans people are just stereotypes? Question mark. 2 weeks ago, 9.7K views. What about the Line Edge? Because I make directly a portion of the money of clips that I'm in. It's like I make a portion of the ad revenue on those. Let's look at the Line Edge. When was the last video that I was in that got posted on the Line Edge channel? Jesus, it's been a while, huh? Or maybe we're just posting more clips. Okay, that was... Okay, this one with Forrest got 12,000 views. Jargon and name dropping doesn't make an argument true. And then 3 weeks ago, this one with Ben. Trans women will destroy women's sports. 4,500 views. Versus Jimmy Snow in the line. Come on, girl. Versus Jimmy Snow in the line, where well, that doesn't really count. That's from today. Leslie, we got several. I'm on several of these videos. So one from 1 hour ago only has about 1,500 views right now. Okay, well, it's only been an hour. This one with me and Forrest, 16,000. This one with me and Forrest, 29,000. This one with Jimmy and I, 17,000. This one with Jimmy and I, 20,000. So yeah, the clips perform really, really well on the Jimmy Snow channel. So that's cool. That dude didn't even have an argument. He just wanted to hurt people. Kevin, yeah. Was Kevin the one who was like, was he the one who I was like, oh, so I guess you're pro assault? And he was like, yeah, I guess I am. Again, I don't remember any of these people. Who comes up with the titles? I think that is Arden. I actually don't know if it's Arden or Luthien who does the clips for the Jimmy Snow channel. I think it might be Luthien who does the Jimmy Snow channel stuff. But I don't know. I haven't actually checked. I know that when on The Line and The Line Edge, that's all Arden. So. Takis almost never gets the spicy collars. We're not that bad. We're doing better. It was really rough for a while, but we're starting to be a little bit more stringent on who we let on. Part of the problem, and yes, I said problem, part of the problem is that sometimes y'all will see a trans person in the chat who like needs advice and you're like, call Takis. And it's like, stop telling people to call Takis for advice. It's explicitly not what we're here for. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the original intention of Takis was to have advice calls, but that does not, we don't post those clips, so they don't make any money as clips. We lose viewers during advice calls versus spicy calls. So like the explicit purpose of all of the shows is we want debate calls. We want to challenge people's beliefs. We want to be challenged in our beliefs, and we want clips. It is a business. So like we basically do not allow friendly callers on the Jimmy Snow channel unless we haven't had a call in an hour, right? And we don't want to end the show after 1 hour. So yeah, that's just a little personal frustration of mine. It's like my job is not to be a therapist. I don't know how many times I can say, well, it depends on your individual situation. Make sure you stay safe, and here's how you can test the waters, and, you know, make sure you're prioritizing yourself, and make sure you're setting your boundaries. Like, how many different times do I need to say that? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get a little frustrated about it. It's pretty commonly, I see people in the chat who are like, you need to call Takis, you know, if you need advice, if you need community. No. I guarantee any question you have, like how to come out to my mom. Guess what? I posted 2 videos. So what you do if you're like, ooh, I'm trans and I'm watching The Line and I want to know how to come out. How to come out, Luxander. Look at this. How to come out as trans for the holidays. How to come out as trans / non-binary. How to come out as trans, parentheses, holidays. Like, look at that. Look at that. I already made videos about it. I've already made almost 40 minutes of content about that. Go watch those videos. Luthien does the snow show because they talk about her titles getting struck. Fair enough. We try to get the transphobes from Jovans to call Takis. It does work sometimes. Sometimes they do. So I appreciate y'all on that. I need to... Jovan like messaged me back, but we haven't actually coordinated. He asked me, he was like, do you want to come on the channel? And I was like, yeah, but we haven't done a collab yet with Jovan and myself. But I guess we don't really have to, since we are going to be paired together on Calling It Now sometimes. So like tomorrow I am doing Transatlantic Call-In Show with Riverboat Jack, and then I'm immediately doing Calling It Now with Jovan, and I'm also producing that show. So I actually need to get in touch with Jimmy tonight and get the things that I need to get from him about that. Because, yeah, I'm going to be, like, hosting and producing that one. Which means it's going to get fucking hot in my office. I have 2 computers going. It's wild to hear what the other side actually thinks, TBH. Yeah. I was, like, talking to some people on Facebook this week, and people, I'm like, they're so rude immediately. You know, like, I'm trying to just talk about, you know, I'm just trying to, like, get some conversations with people, and I'm like, well, here's my position, you know, here's why I think Trump bad. And I know I try to be really clear, and I'm like, well, you know, here's the reason. I'll post an image that shows what I'm talking about, and people are like, they're immediately like, see, that's how I know you're delusional. I'm like, I don't know why you're resorting to personally attacking me when I've just presented information that you could have looked up yourself. Like, I'm just discussing the facts of the matter, and you are personally attacking and insulting me. And it's not very strong. Wow, that video didn't even get 1,000 views. How to come out as trans for the holidays that I posted 2 years ago? That's crazy. Whereas how to come out as trans / non-binary from 4 years ago has 43,000 views. See, I don't understand. Like, how did I post the same fucking video with the words how to come out as trans in the title, and 2 years in between those, and one of them got less than 1,000 views? I fucking hate YouTube. This is what I mean. YouTube is annoying in this regard. He's been so sick for a couple weeks. Jovan? I saw that he was not feeling great on like the Sunday show where he did the show with Jimmy. Video title, how to trans your gender. True. There's less holidays than other days. I guess. But I just typed in the search bar how to come out Luxander, and actually the how to come out as trans for the holidays video was first in the search result. Like, it came up first. I don't fucking know. Random question, but the thumbnail for your YouTube channel, old pic of you? Yeah, that's from like 5 years ago or something, when I used to dye my hair red. I want to take some new pictures soon because Jimmy wants updated photos for the thumbnails. So I'll probably, take some new pictures and maybe set a new profile picture. The line is extremely sensitive and blocks people in the chat compared to other channels really poor, such as those held by Ian, Dr. Blitz, etc. Well, the thing is that we don't want you all to argue in the chat. And that's not the case on the Jimmy Snow and the Line channel. On the Jimmy Snow channel, we don't really give a shit in the same way. But on the Line, the point of the show is that we have a debate call-in show. So if people are posting their opinions in the chat, we say, hey, why don't you call in? And then if they keep posting in the chat, we mute them because that's not what the chat is for. Like, we explicitly do not want you all debating with one another in the chat. We want you to direct that energy towards us and call in. If you have a really strong opinion, call in. We'll have a conversation. We'll hear you out. So that is just our policy at the time. And also we have a couple other rules, like we don't allow people to use all capitals. We don't allow people to I'm shouting in the chat, regardless of what you're saying. And I've gotten in trouble for doing that too. So, people are like, hey, by the way, don't forget, you're not supposed to use all caps. And we don't allow people to spam emojis. So if your comment has a bunch of emojis in it, those get filtered out. So that's just our policy, We want to make sure the chat stays, because the thing is too that our moderators in the chat are volunteers, and we don't want them to be unable to moderate the chat, which is also why we have slow mode. But yeah, we don't want them needing to spend time moderating your guys' arguments. If you have a disagreement, then call in. And that's just how it is. So if you feel like you can't state your opinion, well, yeah, that's correct. You can't just state your opinion in the chat. We want you to call. And if you don't want to call, then you're welcome to comment on the video after it's been uploaded. That's fine. But we're not going to just let you make your arguments in the chat. That's not the point. I got for typing LMFAO in alt caps. So yeah, they're strict on the all caps. Yeah, that's just how it is. Sorry. Like, if you want to have a conversation with us, then call in. But you're not going to debate in the chat. It's just not how we operate. In the same way that, like, when I'm producing and not hosting, I am not allowed to make comments. I'm I in a very limited capacity. I'm not supposed to be an off-camera host, right? Those are the rules. We do not have the producer acting as an off-camera host. That just isn't what we do. So, if you don't like it, then whatever. I don't, that's fine. But there are good reasons for the rules that we have. And that's that. Any particular reason you ditched the snake bites? Because they were constantly grinding against my teeth. I'm really bad. I chew on my lips a lot. You know, I chew on my lips and I chew on the inside of my mouth. Like the inside of my mouth is all jacked up too. It's just like a compulsive behavior of mine. And so they're like my metal rings were like constantly rubbing against my teeth. And it's bad for your teeth. And I could hear it. And it was like the scraping. And I just was like, I'm fucking tired of this. So yeah. Yes, exactly. Cliff says you are meant to call if you want to argue. That's just how it is. If you have something to say, we welcome you calling. We're not going to let you pop off in the chat. Sorry. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I had to take out my cheek piercings because I broke 2 teeth. Fuck. Yeah, you gotta be really careful with any oral piercings. I wanted to get a tongue piercing and I decided not to because I was like, that has great potential to damage your teeth. Yeah. And it's possible that, like, if I had not gotten them pierced when I was 16, if I had gotten them pierced when I was an adult, then maybe I would have had, like, maybe they would be placed better to not be rubbing against my teeth all the time. But, yeah, I don't know. I was like, I'm fucking tired of this. Maybe someday I'll put them back in. I don't know. I'm kind of done with piercings right now. Okay, speaking of, what did you say? Who was that? M said, I'm hoping against hope that my dual nostril piercings heal 6 months in and they're struggling. I feel you. TMI time. I got my nipples pierced in like November of 2024, and they are still not done healing. It's pretty obnoxious, especially this one. I'm like, when are you gonna stop crusting up every single day? It's fucking annoying, actually. But they're really cute, so I'm gonna try to keep them in. I just think that I heal slowly, and I wonder, this is part of the contributing data to why I think I have a connective tissue disorder. You do not block atheists. Well, the atheists in the chat are not arguing. Well, to be fair, sometimes the atheist in the chat will respond to someone who comes into the chat to argue, but then they settle down once the person who is stirring up shit either leaves or is muted. So, yeah, they're reacting to someone in the chat and not stirring up shit on their own. Do you kind of see the difference with that? I ended up removing my knob rings just because of the issues of it being an awkward healing spot for most people. Yeah, it's tough. I bought some bath bombs and I would really love to use them, but I can't use the bath bombs until my knops heal. Come on. Some people, parentheses, me, never heal from piercings. Yeah. I got, like, the second round of my ears done, and now there's a bunch of scar tissue in them because I guess, like, I am actually allergic to nickel, but I didn't know that. So I was keeping, like, cheap earrings in them, and I think that that's part of why they suck so bad now. I want to maybe try to get them, maybe just, like, go into a piercer and be like, hey, are they still open enough? Like, could you put some really high-quality titanium in there? I don't know. We'll figure it out. With my autoimmune / chronic illness shit, I think I need to stick with tattoos and maybe mostly fashion and jewelry that doesn't require a hole. Fair enough. I've like tattoos that I still want. Like, I have a tattoo on my shoulder that I want to get covered up. So I'd like to get I'd really like to get a sunflower tattooed there, like up here, and maybe even kind of encroaching on the forward part here. So I kind of also really like the idea of getting some kind of really big tattoos on my legs, like on my thighs. I have a tattoo on my thigh that's the Ouroboros from Full Metal Alchemist in the position where Envy has theirs. So, like, Envy has it on their left thigh, and that's where I got mine. And it's the biggest tattoo I have, and it's very cool. but I kind of like the idea of having like something like really big that goes like across and around and maybe a little bit on like the sides of the ass meat on the hips. I don't know what that is. You know, a lot of people do like tentacles, or Adeline Gray has that really cool like dragon scale tattoo. I don't want dragon scales, but something like that would be cool. I kind of like the idea of getting like a little like under boob tattoo situation where it like accentuates the curve marks here. I don't know what that, like maybe some like wildflowers from Kansas or something could be cute to put there. I know that it would hurt. I'm aware. Like I'm aware of the fact that rib tattoos hurt a lot. To be fair, that fucking hurt a lot. That right there, that hurt a lot. And guess what? So did this one. This part right here of this tattoo, that hurt so bad. That one right there, the S, it hurt bad. Hopefully Algo will promote the other channels that don't have your policy like Blitz & Co. I'm sorry, Maximus. I don't really care if you're upset about how we moderate our chat. We moderate the chat because of the policies that we have. Like, we don't want you to argue in the chat. We want you to call in. Now, if you want to go to Jimmy Snow and the Line, like Jimmy Snow and the Line, where we talk about politics, I don't know if you are aware that we have this whole other separate channel where we talk about politics, whereas the Line is focused on religion, but we don't moderate the chat in the same way. You know, you can say disgustingly anti-trans things in the chat over here, and we don't moderate it. So if you want, we do have a channel where we don't moderate that way. And it's possible that we might change some of those moderation standards because we're about to start streaming to the vertical stream as well as the horizontal on the Line. But like, I don't know why you think I care about your opinion on how we moderate our chat. And I also don't know why you think it's so unreasonable, because like I have explained in detail why the policy is the way that it is, and to say like, we encourage you to call in, we want to hear your opinion, but we do not argue with the chat while we are streaming, and we don't want you all to be arguing with each other in the chat. So I don't care about your opinion if you don't like it. I don't know why you have a problem with that. So, and you're not even explaining why you have a problem with that. You're just bitching. So, I mean, do you want to make a compelling case for why we shouldn't? Like, why we should let you yap in the chat? Like, why we should let you argue with people in the chat? Call in if you have an opinion. I don't know, dude. My wrist was the worst. I have 6 tattoos: thigh ×2, shoulder blade ×2, upper chest, shoulder, and wrist. Yeah. I have an optical illusion blade tat. The artist struggled a bit, but did a great job. That's awesome. Can tattoos hide stretch marks? Asking for a friend. So I do know that it's tricky to, so I actually think that I do have some very small stretch marks where my thigh tattoo is right now, but it's kind of like tattooing over scar tissue. Like the tattoo artist needs to be aware of it and work around it. I don't really know exactly how it works as far as tattooing stretch marks, and like that could be an issue if I want stretch marks on the sides of my hips, because I have a lot of stretch marks on the sides of my hips. One of my friends from my Tuesday D&D game showed off his new tattoo. It goes up his left arm, onto his chest and his side. It's cool, but it sounded like it hurt like hell. Legitimately, I do kind of struggle with like my blood pressure wanting to drop out on me when I'm doing a tattoo. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that gets better as we go forward, as I'm like working on my health issues. The only tattoo I've ever really considered is my blood type in case of an emergency. Then I got into my field and learned that wouldn't really be considered valid for them to use, so I'm back to nothing. Yeah, fair enough. True, Viren. It is my God-given right to be annoying on the internet wherever I don't want. Or, sorry, wherever I want, don't you see? True, true. Some tattooists specialize in tattooing stretch marks with skin color matching inks. Oh, like to make them not visible anymore? Well, that's cool. That's nice. I don't even know my blood type is that bad. I honestly think probably most people don't know their blood type. The only reason I know mine is because I donated blood when I was in high school. You know, they did that like blood drive at your high school thing. And so I know my blood type because of that, but I don't know why most people would know their blood type. And I'm assuming that basically I used to carry my card that I got from that in my wallet that said my blood type and everything, but it's not like they're going to rummage through your wallet at the hospital to find out what blood type if you need a transfusion. They're probably just going to do a little test and find out right then and there what your blood type is. Or they might not even need to know your blood type because if they have enough, what is it? Is it O negative? That's the universal donor. If they have enough of the universal donor blood, then they'll just give you that and not test your blood type. Like, I'm assuming that that's functionally how it works, that they just keep enough of the universal blood on hand to just give to everybody. I've been wanting to get a tattoo, but I'm still looking for that quote perfect one. Oh, Elizabeth. Oh, my darling Clementine. You'll hone in and you'll get that one perfect tattoo. And then about 6 to 12 months later, you're going to be like, you know what else I could get tattooed? It's like really like once you pop, you can't stop kind of thing. I understand you're like, there's that hang up when you get your first tattoo where you're like, I want it to be permanent and I want it to be meaningful or whatever. I'm thinking about covering up my very first tattoo. O negative is the universal donor. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, basically the only reason you would know your blood type is if you've given blood or you had to receive a transfusion. And thanks to donating, I know that I'm O positive. O positive. I can sit for 8+ hours straight for a tattoo with no issues. As soon as I think about giving blood, I get nauseous and woozy. Well, the thing is that, I mean, I used to give myself injections of medication, intramuscular injections and subcutaneous injections of testosterone. I did it both ways. And I've had tattoos and I've had piercings. Let me say, the nipple piercing hurt so fucking bad. So fucking bad. That was crazy. I'm a drop now. Yeah, I'm about 5 minutes from dropping anyway. It hurts so bad. But getting blood drawn is so much more invasive. Like, it's so much, it like grosses me out and it makes me feel a little bit sick. And I think it's because your body responds to your veins being bugged, like being bothered in a different way than all of the other things. So yeah, I feel similarly. Like, oh, I don't like thinking about giving blood. I kind of want to get horns. Yeah, I've seen some people get horns. It's cool. I kind of, on some level, want to get my tongue split, but I know that I'm never going to commit to that. There's no fucking way. There's no way I'm going to commit to that, but it's really cool. I really like it when other people do it. But yeah, I'm not going to do it myself. I've gotten bloods done so often, I'm now used to it. The joys of being chronically ill, you get used to it after a while. I feel like I do well enough with it because, yeah, I used to get my blood drawn to test my testosterone and estrogen levels. And now I've been doing all this blood tests to see what the fuck is wrong with me, and all of the tests are coming back normal, and I'm at, at that part of my chronic illness where I'm like, wow, I wish that I had just had low iron and then I could have fixed all of this by taking some B12. But yeah. Also magnets under the skin. Yeah, that one freaks me out a little bit. The blood donation needles feel so unnecessarily big, even if they aren't. Yeah, it like... Oh, I also used to donate plasma. So I used to donate plasma, and boy howdy, there are very few things in this world worse than having room temperature saline pumped into you after donating plasma. Like, the feeling of cold in your veins is desperately uncomfortable. Like, just really not cool. Do not like. Anyway, what an interesting topic to wrap up today's stream on, talking about blood type. I don't even know how we got here. I'm not going to try to trace the conversation back to figure it out either. Yawn. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go chill and do some stuff and have fun doing stuff. And Invincible came out today, and if we're in a good mood, we're gonna watch it later tonight. I love Invincible. Invisible. I don't know why I do this. Every week, I'm like, I want to watch Invisible. Okay, I'm losing it. I am going to see you all tomorrow. I'm on Takis in the early afternoon, and then I'm on Calling It Now afterwards with Jovan. So if you want to see me with Jovan, that'll be a fun time. And then I plan to stream my stream on Sunday unless something happens between now and then. So yeah, have fun, y'all. Be good. And next time. Haha, Viren. Haha, you're so funny. Ha 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 ha. Okay, bye.